Welcome to the Queer Confidence Podcast, the podcast to help you become your most confident queer self. I'm your host, he, she, they, Coach Alex Ray, and I haven't always been this confident. In fact, I used to be super insecure. And through this show, I want to share with you what's worked for me, my clients, and my guests so that you can become more confident. I don't remember my intro.
Something about a unicorn. I don't know.
Hello, my unicorns, and welcome back. I am thrilled to share today's guest with you. You already know from the title who it's going to be, so I am just very excited to introduce you to the hilarious, helpful, handsome, highly intelligent, my boyfriend.
Hi, everyone.
He's decided to stay anonymous for this first episode, so I have to do my best to not say your name the whole episode. This is honestly take two, because I already fucked it up.
Struggled.
Anyway, I'm really excited to have him on the podcast today because he truly is the only person who has actually made me laugh to the point of throwing up. Like, no joke, was telling me this story, and all of a sudden I just fucking puked because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, I didn't know if I should be proud or if I should be concerned or both. I ended up being both.
Yeah, probably a mix. Anyway, I'm so excited to have you here today. Thanks for being on the podcast.
You're welcome. It is your pleasure. And mine as well.
Okay, so we're going to kind of get to know you today a little bit. You have a few stories.
Yes.
Some things from childhood to share with us, a few coming out kind of stories, and then a surprise story for me at the end, right?
Yes, a surprise story. We also have some COVID times stories that are in there, but yes, then we're going to be finishing up with a mystery story that you've not heard.
Okay, so y'all are going to get to hear my genuine first impression reaction, and I'm going to do my best to also get out of my head and not pay attention to the fact that we're recording and just be genuinely reacting to your
or the fact that you've heard all of these stories except for one before. So
yeah, I mean the surprise one.
Okay,
but these others I have heard before, and I can't freaking wait. These are great stories. So, and you're a very good storyteller. Everyone's going to really enjoy this.
I sure hope so. I feel confident, but we'll see. But yes, so this is just kind of the stories that we selected. It's kind of giving an inside look to some of the things I've been through, some of my opinions on things, or some of the things that I've had to maybe just put up with and tolerate that have shaped me into the person that I am today. Mm-hmm. So, was there anything else? Or
I don't think so. Ready? Let's hear your first couple of stories.
Okay, great. So, as a preface, I was born and raised in rural Appalachia. So, hopefully that just initially gives you a general impression. But going from there, the first story is going to be about my 8th birthday. And honestly, it seems like most of my birthdays have some kind of I was going to say chaotic, but I think I'm going to modify the phrasing and call it catastrophic result. But anyway, here are a few of those.
Honestly.
So up first is my 8th birthday. So, God, it's such a blur. But we had just finished birthday dinner. This is at the house, by the way. We had just finished birthday dinner, and we were bringing out the cake, putting some candles in it. We were in the middle, literally in the middle of singing happy birthday to you. And my little brother, who was 6 at the time, points out the window and interrupts everyone, points out the window into the backyard and goes, "What is that?" And we all turn at the same time and look out the back window, and my dad's car, his truck, is on fire and had exploded and was ablaze, 10, 20-foot flames in the air. I was that's odd. And we didn't finish singing happy birthday. We just started panicking and scrambling or whatever, what is happening? What's going on? My parents, ditch me at the table, of course, and run down to assess the situation. My dad is trying to grab the garden hose to try to spray water and, put out the blaze of the truck. But the issue was we had, a short, sprinkler hose. It's one of the shorter ones, not, a real hose. And he wasn't able to stretch all the way to get the water to the truck. So he had to put his thumb on the hose to try to spray and put out the fire, but it wasn't quite reaching there. So that effort was failing. We were afraid that there was going to be another explosion. So my mom gathered all me and my siblings, and she took us to her bedroom, and then she put on the church channel on TV. They were saying the rosary
channel.
The rosary channel, and we just had to sit on the floor of her room watching the church channel and praying.
Wait, what's happening with the birthday candles at this point? Did you even get to blow them out?
By this point, the candles have probably burned all the way down to the nub. My cake is melted in a pool of wax. Really, that became a secondary priority to what was happening outside. But
in that moment, I feel like my crazy brain would have connected birthday candle fire to car fire for half a second and been wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was the ultimate birthday candle that I was not able to blow out. It was
you do not get your wish this year.
No, I guess talk about going out with a bang, but
or a boom,
yeah, a large boom. But the reason that I guess people are wait, okay, but get to why was your truck on fire?
Yeah.
So that's the next part. So my mom she's a character. And with a large yard and trees falling down, whatever, we had a lot of burn piles to get rid of excess debris and stuff from the yard. So my mom, and again, she loves fires. And we have, I have a number of other stories that I forgot about until just now. She had started a big bonfire in the yard, and in time for us to go upstairs to celebrate the birthday or whatever, she thought that she had extinguished the fire. All the flames were out, it looked like it was fine. However, the wind apparently had kicked up and reignited some of the embers, and then some of them blew into the back of the truck that had other debris in the back of it, and then it caught and blew up. So anyway, that was that. And then
it was a pickup truck, right?
It was an old Chrysler pickup truck, and
okay.
So it exploded. The next morning, we go to bed, whatever. The next morning, oh, by the way, we lived in the middle of nowhere, so the fire department couldn't find us. This was before a lot of GPS stuff, I guess. So we had to call on our landline. We had to call the fire department, and they could not locate us.
Oh my God.
We were we live very close to you. I'm not kidding you. It's maybe a 3-minute drive. Very close.
And they could not find you.
They couldn't locate us. That's kind of how much in the sticks, or kind of how weird and convoluted our property is. But the fire department eventually got there probably around 2 or 3 a.m. But by that time, the truck had already burned to a crisp. There was nothing left. And the following morning, I went out and looked at the remains of the truck. It was just a crispy mess. And while searching through the ashes or whatever, I remembered that my chapstick was in the glove compartment of the truck. And my one thing that I exclaimed was, darn, my chapstick was in there. My favorite chapstick, never to be seen again.
That glove box is moisturized though.
I guess so. Yeah, fully protected against chapping. Works on cars.
Oh,
anyway,
my God.
That's I might be forgetting some details about that, but that's the gist.
I don't know. I love that story. I think it's kind of a pretty good picture of where you came from, and
it's really a metaphor for my life and my upbringing.
Yeah.
I will never forget my little 6-year-old brother pointing out the window saying, "What is that?" But anyway.
Oh my
okay, well that's the first birthday story of note. Then we have another one.
Yeah.
My 13th birthday, I'm finally a teenager.
You have the worst birthdays.
Truly, this is two of, I'm not kidding you, maybe 6 or 7 birthdays that were all absolute disasters.
The best birthday you ever had was the one I threw for you.
Yes, last year.
Yeah.
Without giving away my age or giving away details, Alex threw me a very personalized, very heartfelt party.
It was a lot of fun.
I was not expecting, and yeah, it was made up for a few of these.
Thank goodness.
Well, okay, so up next is my 13th birthday, and I'm like finally a teenager. I have high hopes. I think this is around the time that I had heard like what a Sweet 16 is, and I was like, oh, maybe my 13th birthday will be kind of like that. I don't really know.
Okay.
So at this point, I am like full-blown middle school, weird, nerdy kid, struggling socially. I'm super into like Pokemon and like anime stuff, and I'm just not really fitting in with a lot of other guys my age. Oh, by the way, I'm like closeted and don't even realize it, so that's a factor. So anyway, all kinds of high hopes for this big, I'm a teenager now, things are going to change, my life is going to change for the better. And I like, it's we have dinner, and there's no explosions this time, so we're already off to a great start, and it's time to open the presents. And I'm expecting big things, everyone. I'm expecting like a computer, some cool toys, some video games.
I mean, you're 13 after all, something.
And I was like, I better not get like socks or something.
Yeah.
But not far off. But so the first gift was wrapped very nicely, and it was a little clamshell thing of bubble tape. Does everyone remember bubble tape? It was like that weird, like tuna fish can shaped thing that looked like an organ from your body, and it just had like 12 feet of gum, like a fruit roll up in it. Bubble tape. I got that wrapped. That was like,
happy birthday.
I got two presents. That was the thing. I got two presents, and that was one of them.
We're not off to a great start. One of your parents was like, oh shit, we forgot to get something for your birthday. We're in the checkout aisle of the grocery store. Let's just grab some gum.
Let's grab this. Let's double the number of presents for our son's, welcoming to the teenage years. Yeah, this will do it. Yeah, momentous occasion celebrated by bubble tape. So anyway, that was gift number 1. Gift number 2 was an interesting selection. It was a wicker chair. It was a wicker chair.
How did they wrap the wicker chair?
I think they threw like a blanket over it, like a crocheted or knitted blanket from my grandma or something.
Oh my God. So
it wasn't wrapped. You can't really wrap that. But there was a blanket, and I pulled it off, and I was so excited. And now again, you could ask my siblings or my family how this story goes, and they'll tell you a very different version, but I'm telling you my version. So we unveil the wicker chair.
It's the only version we care about, by the way.
Thank you very much for the validation. So we unwrap the wicker chair, and I sit in the wicker chair with great enthusiasm, and it collapses. It breaks underneath my weight. And I am a very average looking 13-year-old. And the chair breaks. My butt falls through the seat. And I'm trying to think, have you ever seen like the thing where a person like trips and like falls backwards into a trash can, and their butt is sticking in the can, and they're like flailing their limbs? Yeah. That's literally what was happening. By the way, I was wearing a gray fleece football embroidered bathrobe with my Nintendo glasses. This was the look I had.
Wait, what are Nintendo glasses?
They were just like glasses that had a little, how you can have like Ray-Ban or like Prada or like whatever the insignia.
Yours said Nintendo.
It had the Nintendo 64 symbol, like the little 3D Nintendo symbol.
Wait, were they like reading glasses or sunglasses?
I mean, not blind glasses. I can't see. I wear glasses. Like, what do you want from me?
I didn't know if these were just for fashion or function.
No, I couldn't read the board. I was like in 4th grade or something, and my teacher like had a sit down thing with my parents. She was like, yeah, he squints all the time. I wish you could see the face that I'm making, but I was like in the front row, constantly squinting. I was literally in the front center of the classroom, and I was still squinting like I was, I don't know, like I was, yeah. But so I have glasses. Yeah. I'm wearing my glasses right now. How is this news?
It's not news. I know you wear glasses. I just wanted to know the Nintendo glasses. I just didn't know Nintendo got into like the
The
eyewear
fashion
bit. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I could see them more in the fashionable eyewear industry more than like the functional eyewear
No,
industry.
these were from Walmart. My parents were trying to save a buck, so we got the selection from Walmart, and I was
Oh.
thrilled at the idea of seeing the Nintendo's insignia
Well, of
on the
course.
side. They were perfect for me.
Iconic.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to the look.
So
So
you've
my
got-
Nintendo glasses, I've got my football embroidered, hand embroidered fleece robe, and my ass is sticking through the collapsed bottom or the seat of a wicker chair, and I'm flailing about my entire. First of all, of course, I'm like crippled with like being self-conscious and being like nervous.
Yeah.
Just in life in general. My entire family is laughing hysterically at me and my misfortune. I'm like trying to get my balance, trying to get out of this trap. I swear, I think it was a trap. I think
Definitely was a trap.
I think this whole thing was a trap. Just to like put me in my place. Oh, you think you're hot stuff? You're a teenager now? No. Have a seat in this broken seat.
Yeah,
I wonder.
and eat 12 feet of gum while you're at it.
Yeah, chewing on a giant, massive wad of gum. I swear to God, I think my dad and my brother probably took like a hacksaw and weakened some of the fibers on the underside
Oh my God.
to guarantee that this would happen. I'm convinced. Anyway,
Honestly, it might be true.
could be true. So then, anyway, I'm like, after freeing myself from this, this medieval contraption,
Yeah.
we forgot the birthday card that my family gave me.
Oh, did they give that first?
Honestly, it's a blur. I just remember that there was a card and what happened with the card. So
God.
those creepy looking little dolls that are like the troll dolls that have the weird hair that you brush and they have like a little mohawk looking thing.
They look like me in the morning. I mean, I look like them in the morning.
That is true. Yes, that is true. So this one, the card I had like the face of that troll on it and then the orange hair, but it was like 3D where the hair was like sticking out of the card.
Wait.
So like it was textured. You could like feel, I could like brush the card. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know why they picked that. I never liked those dolls. I never had those dolls, but apparently that was what I was getting for my birthday. So
Oh my God.
that was the vibe when you first, open the envelope. That grates you, which really sets the stage for what comes next. And then in the, how like whenever it's someone's birthday dinner coming up and like you clearly didn't think ahead and everyone's like, hurry, pass around the card. Everyone sign the card quickly. And then like you
Yeah.
tape it and then you hand the card to the person. That was clearly what happened here. Everyone was in a rush. All of the messages were like very generic messages, but the best one of all was from my little brother. Now here's the thing. I'm the older brother and my little brother was like really cool, really popular, and like really confident. I was the older brother that was like tall, gangly, and weird, and like obsessed with Pokemon and didn't have friends. So like that sets the stage. So my brother's message to me goes, my name. It just says, I am so much cooler than you. And that was it. It literally didn't even say happy birthday. It didn't say happy birthday. It didn't say congratulations, like you're a teenager now. Literally, no. It was that one sentence. I was like being bullied on my birthday by my little brother.
The shadiest message.
I like how it wasn't like they didn't even try to hide it. Like I'm sure my parents like didn't even read the message, like whatever. So anyway, that was my 13th birthday.
Oh my God. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Also, just checking, what's the pacing like? Do we need to make these faster, or like what's the deal?
You're great.
Okay, great. Here's the next one. So we had 2 birthdays so far, but then the next story is going to be the story about the time my mom got shot and was eating eggs.
Yeah.
And this one, same setting as the first 2. It's at home. And again, my mom really likes to burn things. She likes to clean up the yard. And I come from a place where like everyone, my family and everyone is like really obsessed with guns and like is super Trumpy and all that stuff,
Yes.
Rural Appalachia, very MAGA. So we're cleaning up the yard. We're having a cookout. By the way, we have a stove. We own a stove. That is not something that we lack. However, we frequently preferred to cook our food outside over like an open fire. And people are like, oh, wow, that's so rustic and like so like back to your roots. No, it was like really sketchy. Like we would have like the grill or like the grate of the fire pit or whatever was leftover construction materials that my dad would find. And it was the catwalk or like the walkway of, like, I don't even know
Like
how to describe it. Almost like scaffolding, but like if you were like walking around the perimeter of like a building high up and it has like the slots, like little slits where you can see through beneath your foot. It's not chicken wire, but it's hard to describe. Anyway, we just had a piece of that we would throw over a fire, but then of course it was like covered in lead paint to like withstand the weather and like the weathering. So anytime we would get a new piece of that scrap, my dad would be like, oh, we need to throw it on the fire first and burn off all the chemicals. And we'd let it roast and like all the paint would fall down into the fire, which then blows back up in the ashes and cooks our food. Anyway.
Oh my God.
So we would eat on that. And we would eat off
just for funsies.
Cook our food. It was like, I prefer the microwave.
Yeah.
Like, or even a stove would be great.
Amazing.
No, so that's what we had. So anyway, my mom is like throwing things onto the fire. And again, it's literally, there's very little discrimination here. We are throwing all kinds of things like plastic, styrofoam, metal, like all kinds of things are being thrown into this fire. My dad is on like our tractor, like lawnmower thing. We're like around the campfire trying to get dinner ready. And my brother and brother-in-law are shooting a machine gun off into the adjacent field because that's fun, apparently. I like refused. They're like, come take some shots. I'm like, I am not doing this. So anyway, my mom is picking up like boxes and things, throwing it on the fire, right? She's cleaning up, being helpful. Out of nowhere, and by the way, we had like brought down several appetizers and like certain dishes we were kind of eating off of a little folding table. And my mom had prepared a bunch of deviled eggs, which seems like an irrelevant detail, but
it will come in a moment.
Yeah, we had eggs among other food. My mom likes deviled eggs. So anyway, my mom, who again is a character, was throwing this like cardboard box of like tinder and leaves and sticks and other debris onto the fire, and she wasn't paying attention, and out of nowhere we start hearing gunshots. Well, I mean, aside from the machine gun that's happening 30 feet from me, other shots that we were not expecting. And
Closer.
Closer, like where I'm sitting. And what we didn't realize was my mom had accidentally thrown an entire case of shotgun shells into the campfire. And so we were all like dodging bullets, like ricocheting everywhere. No, but my mom ended up getting shot in the leg, and she just screams. And I think she'd had a couple of drinks too, because she was like happy. But she got shot in the leg, and she's like limping away from the campfire. And we realized that she'd thrown a bunch of bullets on the fire. And we were like, oh my God, Mom, like, did you get shot? Did you get shot? And she's like, you're damn right, I got shot. She's like, I'm going to get more eggs. And she like hobbles away back into the house to go get the deviled eggs, like as if that's going to treat her gunshot wounds. And I'm just sitting there, like, the massive World War II, explosions have finished. Why are there always explosions in my backyard?
I don't know, but it's all sort of a theme at this point.
Yeah. Anyway, so my mom's fine. She was fine, and she got shot. She sort of shot herself.
Yeah, indirectly. Accidentally shot herself in the leg.
Yeah, but you know what makes that better?
Deviled eggs, apparently.
A lot of eggs. Like a large amount of eggs. I'm going to get more eggs. She said exactly like that too. Limping away with like a club foot. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. I hope she like actually got the shot pulled.
Got the medical attention that she needed. No, that's not how my family operates. Mental or physically. Just rub some dirt in it. It'll be fine.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, now that everyone knows a little bit of Your family life. Let's hear some gay stories.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about my full coming out story, I'm sure, some other time.
Yeah. We're here for the entertainment today.
Okay, great. So this is like, what is this? 4 or 5 years after I've come out. I'm like decently confident with who I am as a person now. And I am living still in the same part of the country, like a different area of Appalachia, but still it's Appalachia, and actually even more rural than where I was born and raised.
That is difficult.
Yes, it was interesting. Like the only grocery store within the entire county was a Walmart. So if you wanted to go to a grocery store, you had to drive to the next county over. Okay, so being in this town, you had to be like kind of careful because you never really know how people are going to respond to you, either identifying as gay or like proudly exclaiming that you're gay, or even just like slightly looking like you're gay. Mm-hmm. As such, you kind of have to hide a little bit, try to blend in a little bit, whatever. Okay, so I'm getting my supply of food at the one and only spot, which is Walmart, which doubles as like the healthcare facility, the entertainment. Like people in this part of the country, people will gather in the Walmart parking lot and like bring their trucks and their cars and like hang out and tune up their cars together. They'll sit on their tailgates and like celebrate.
Tailgating at Walmart. I've heard of this.
Like there's not a lot to do, but it's like a community space where people come together, socialize, fix their cars up, chit chat, like have a drink or a soda or whatever.
Go Walmart for being having positive effects on a community.
I truly wonder what that town was doing before the Walmart moved in, because it had only been around for a couple of years by the time I was living there. Anyway, okay, so I'm doing my grocery shopping and I'm like wearing, a pair of chinos and like a fitted shirt. I'm not seeming flamboyant by any means, but like I could pass as a well-dressed person in Europe, for example, a person who's out and about in Europe.
A little bit metro.
Very, 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 very.
Okay.
So I get my groceries and I'm leaving Walmart and I'm headed to my car and I'm putting my groceries in the back seat of my car. And I notice I'm parked in the parking space and I notice that this sketchy looking truck pulls up and kind of like in a T shape kind of blocks me into my parking spot. And it's not just like a standard pickup truck. This is one of those pickup trucks that has like the ladders horizontally on the back of the truck. There's like big paint cans. It's like not quite a utility van, but like that a professional painter would have.
Okay, yeah.
You've seen the kinds with the ladders on the side of the back of the car, right?
I mean, I've seen it on like where they have like a metal structure built into the bed of the truck and it holds them on top. But I don't know if I've ever seen like a ladder attached to the side of the truck. I'm imagining like a fire engine.
That, but style. Less severe and like lots of paint chipping for someone who probably paints for a living.
Okay.
There was a lot of chipping. Anyway, and I'm sure the viewers probably know what I'm talking about. All right, so they're blocking me in. And I was like, this is interesting. And I'm looking out of the peripheral vision that I have to see like, what's kind of going on here? Like, what's this person like? Are they stuck? Are they like, what's going on? And they're not moving. I look over, the window rolls down and this terrifying looking man starts talking to me and he goes, "Hey." I just kind of like look at him. He's like, "Hey, you, are you gay?" And like my entire life flashes before my eyes at this point. I truly am debating between my two options. Do I lie and live, or do I tell the truth and like literally get hate crimed in the Walmart parking lot?
You forgot option 3. You just jump in the backseat with the groceries and like peel out.
I can't. He's blocked me in.
Oh yeah.
Where am I gonna go?
Shit, I don't know.
So I was like, I have these two options right now. So I was like, ooh, maybe I'll get like on a TV show if I do this someday. So I like I do like a gulp like they do in the movies, like when you're afraid. And I said, yes, I'm gay. and there's like someone in his passenger seat. And
You
they're,
just
like,
did it for the whole community. You like...
Yeah, to be a martyr.
Yeah, I'm just saying you deserve an award. Like you have not been honored for yet.
I agree.
Significantly enough for this.
I am waiting for my trophy and check from the town.
Yeah,
but
queer community, we gotta celebrate.
Okay, well, we have to say what happened first.
Well, you're obviously alive, so you made it.
Anyway, so I was like, yes, I'm gay. And like did a big gulp. And he kind of looks at his friend that's in the car. He's like, like planning how they're going to murder me. And then he like whips back around and stares at me with the widest open eyes, looking super nervous, like super unsure of himself. And he goes,
would you want to go on a date with me sometime?
And I just froze. I was like, I don't know what to do right now. I was like melted into a puddle. I was like, I thought I was going to get murdered. This person is hitting on me.
Uh-huh.
And so in a panic, I was like, wasn't expecting that. I don't know. And he was like, I just have to be honest. I was in Walmart and I saw you in Walmart in the bread aisle, and I just thought you were the cutest thing ever. And so I actually followed you around for a couple of different aisles, and I was hiding behind the donut, the donut stand. And my friend was telling me I should have the confidence to come over and ask you out, but I couldn't. And then you went and you checked out your groceries and you walked out the door, and I didn't think I'd ever see you again. And I was like, he's like, so then I came over and I saw you putting your groceries in your car, and I had to come over and I had to block you in. I had to ask you, I had to shoot my shot. I was like, here I was thinking that I was going to get shot. And so anyway, he ended up asking if he could take me out sometime. I got his number. I ended up texting him against all better instincts. And it turns out we didn't have a lot in common. He was like talking a lot about his chickens. Like we had chickens too at home, but he was like on another level of chickens. Yeah. And we just didn't really have much in common. And here's the thing, he lived like more than an hour away. He was just like passing through town, or he was passing through that Walmart because he had a paint job or whatever that he was doing in the town. He's like, I live an hour and 15 minutes away. I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. But like, I appreciate your confidence.
Yeah, also like, I don't know. I'm proud of him for speaking up and asking you out. And also, like, terrifying. How did you not just pee your pants?
I probably did. Again, a lot of these are a blur. It was truly, like, I don't have many times in my life where I feel like I was actually in danger of, like, dying. Not, like, from an accident, but, like, someone attacking me.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
Yeah.
But good on me for like, look. Like, can you imagine if I had been like, no, I'm straight. Like, but I was brave.
You do like
I said I was hand flip.
little tongue pop at the end.
Yes, I'm so straight. Anyway, so that was the time that I, like, in a very not gay friendly area, was like pleasantly surprised and got that story out of it.
I really am so proud of. I'm like so proud of both of you. Really, I truly am.
Yeah.
I was being silly earlier, but I really am proud of you for actually saying yes, because that took a lot of guts.
Oh, saying that I'm gay? Yeah.
Instead of denying it, that was really impressive.
Yeah, and I guess sort of kudos to him too for like being confident enough to ask me.
Absolutely.
Where some of his practices might have been a little bit unorthodox.
Sure.
Frightening.
Frightening, indeed. Yeah.
But it ended up working out. Anyway.
It might have been the first time he ever hit on someone, and he might have just gotten the first, most awkward asking someone out time over with. So,
wow.
Thank you for your service.
I mean, you and society writ large are welcome, but like, can you imagine that being the first time you ask someone out and doing that in that way?
No.
Nor can I. Okay. On to the next one. So that was a situation where we had like a really not gay friendly place with like a pleasant gay experience.
Yeah.
the next story is the complete opposite of that. This was in Carrboro, North Carolina, which for anyone who doesn't know that area, I think Carrboro is considered one of the like top lesbian capitals of like the United States. It's like one of the most like heavily lesbian, like lived, run, supportive. It's like very lesbian.
Yeah.
So I was living close to there, and I went on a date there. And at the end of the date, I was like, wow, any place in the world to go on a date with a guy and like not feel self-conscious out on the sidewalk, this is the place to do it. So like,
sure, just the two homos, well, the two gays, sorry, everyone's homo, the two gays and the like 300 lesbians around you.
This is true. And like we finish up a date, and the guy was actually like really terrible, and it was actually quite an awful date. But
oh my,
I was like, I gave a hug goodbye. He wanted a kiss. I was not going to give a kiss, so I gave a hug goodbye. And as I'm hugging as we like release from the hug and start to walk opposite ways towards our cars, this woman on a walking with a bike across the street calls out. Am I allowed to curse on here?
Absolutely.
Okay. This woman from across the street, by the way, she's in a full-length denim dress, pushing a bike alongside her on the sidewalk. That paints a picture.
Full-length denim
with
dress.
with like a long-ass braid, too.
Got it.
So she calls out to me from across the street, and she goes, "Hey, faggot!"
What?
And like, I like sort of stop. It's very, first of all, that's jarring to begin with, but also like we're in Carrboro. Like this is
like not supposed to happen.
One of the most queer friendly places in the country. Like what is going on?
Yeah.
So I like hesitate for a second. I was like, is she talking to me? And I like turned towards her, and she's looking straight at me. And I was like, and I like motioned to her like, what? And she goes, "You dropped your phone." I like look down at my pocket where my phone very clearly is still in my pocket. I can see it and feel it still in my pocket. I was like, what the hell is she talking about? And I said, no, like it's right here. And I pull my phone out of my pocket and show her. And like kind of like laugh a little bit like, you crazy person.
Uh-huh.
And she instantly gets this huge, like angry, vicious scowl on her face. And she goes, "Are you calling me a liar?"
Oh my God.
And I just like look at her again, very confused. Like, how do you respond to that? And I just kind of like turn away and like start to walk away from her. This lady like I'm talking not drop. She throws her bike down to the side and starts sprinting towards me.
In her denim dress.
In a full denim dress, like her 3-foot braid is whipping back and forth. I'm
God.
the wildebeest and she's the lion. And like, I don't know what I did. I book it. I get out of there. And the thing is, I was like pretty close to my car, but based on how fast she was running towards me, I wouldn't have been able to like unlock the car, get in the car, close the car, lock the car, turn on the car and drive away. There was no way. So all I can do is run. So that's what I did.
One of my biggest fears. I've had like nightmares about that, about somebody like trying to mug me in a parking lot, and I don't have enough time to be able to get into my car for safety.
Yeah. I like that Mike Myers, the challenge people do, or anyway, I'm sure some of the listeners know what I'm talking about. That thing on TikTok where you pretend to be the guy. I don't even know what movie that's from. It's the guy with the face mask that kills people with a knife, and he like briskly like walks towards you. He never runs, but he like walks towards you. And the whole thing is like, you're not going to be able to get to your front porch and like get the key and unlock your front door and get inside and close the door in time. Anyway, that's what it felt like.
I hate that. That's, oh my God. Okay, so you're running
for my life.
Denim dress with her braid whipping around.
Yeah.
Is after you.
Yeah. Like
she's got superpowers.
She probably had like a knife that was like woven into her braid. Like she was like chopping down trees behind her as her braid was whipping, like branches are falling. Like, thank you, ma'am, for like your community service, trimming back the branches that are in the road, blocking street signs. I run for my life. And like, I didn't really like look back very often. I just ran for a while and then eventually turned around and she was gone. I was like, I don't know what happened. I'm very
God.
confused. I can see that happen, like where I'm from, I could sort of see that happening. But again, for anybody who is familiar with the area of Carrboro, I'm sure some people are nodding right now and being like, yeah, what the hell? Like, that is the absolute last place. It's like, it would be like, you know, on, what's the place? Like like Provincetown.
Oh,
or
yeah.
like West
Fire
Hollywood,
Island.
or like Fire Island. Like, that's like the gay friendly places, the queer friendly places in the world.
That
Anyway,
is insane.
but I lived. So that was good.
We're happy you made it.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here today.
Yeah. Almost didn't make it.
Okay. We want to hear your ridiculous COVID story next, right?
Okay, great. So, we all have a few COVID stories. This one is pretty short. So I was, you know, trapped in my apartment like all of us were. And I'm on like the middle floor of a building. So there's like space above and below me out like on my little mini patio that overlooks the world. And one morning, I like woke up, came out into my like kitchen area, which has the patio coming off of it. And I smelled something kind of weird. Like something's not right. And I'm like sniffing around my kitchen, like checking the trash can, checking the fridge. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. And I had the door cracked from like the porch door, sliding door cracked from the night earlier to like let some breeze in or whatever. And as I get closer to the sliding glass door, I notice the smell is getting really stronger. And I'm like, I know what the smell is. Like, what is that smell? I'm really confused. It's the smell of urine. Like, just like straight up urine. And I was like, what is happening? So I like go out onto my porch. My entire porch, which is like the floor of it is like cement / stucco, whatever. It's not like wooden slats. It like holds moisture. It holds liquids. So I like go out onto the porch and I'm like punched in the face by the odor of urine. And I'm noticing in the moment, I was like, oh, that's not just pee. This is like also the smell of poop as well. I was like, wait, what? Like, did someone somehow climb up onto my second story and like go to the bathroom? I'm like, what is happening? And I noticed there's just like this liquid that's pooled on my porch. I was like, where did this come from? Did someone like pee an entire, like, did they aim up an entire story? Like, talk about power and like rain, talk about water pressure, the ability to aim, or like I'm trying to rationalize, like, how did this happen? Like, did an eagle like come and like pee on my, like, this is a large amount of liquid.
It's the storks that carry babies, but in your case, they're carrying gallons of urine.
Yes. But again, it's such a large quantity of liquid that it's like baffled. Like, it's not just like weird and confusing. It's like concerning. How did this much liquid get up here? And like, I'm going through my mind. The only possible thing I can think of is that someone had like a bucket on the ground level and like threw a whole bucket of like pee water up to my porch. And like some of it made like it makes no sense how it got up there. So anyway, I'm trying to piece that together. I'm taking photos. I'm sending photos and videos to my landlord to be like, what is going on? This is unsanitary. It smells horrible. What's going on? As I'm doing that, it starts to rain from above. And it was then that I put two and two together. It's my upstairs neighbor. It's the liquid is raining down. And again, it's not wooden slats. It's coming, you know, like whenever you've got a gutter and like where the gutter outlets the water, it's called a scupper, but it's where the water from an upper floor or a thing like shoots out to get away from the building and like falls out of the whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So my neighbors, this is during COVID, early COVID, and we're all locked inside. So they have a bunch of animals. They have like 3 big dogs. And what ended up being the case was that their 3 dogs, they were afraid to go walking outside, so they would lock the 3 large dogs on the patio. The dogs would poop and pee on the patio, and then my upstairs neighbors would take buckets of water, and they would like slosh it around and like throw buckets of water on the upstairs level, and then it would rain down. It was like misaligned. The scuppers were misaligned, so instead of like shooting the water out away from the building, it falls down onto like my area. So I've got like 3 dogs worth of like however many times daily poop and pee water that's just collecting in like a trough on my porch. And I'm getting like nauseated and like angry and all this stuff. Anyway, multiple complaints later, trying to go up and contact the neighbors. It was not going well. They were not having it. They were like saying that I was the problem. Like it was a terrible situation.
Yeah, stop existing below us.
Truly.
Oh my god, never ever was it the case that you could not take your dog for a walk outdoors. That was like never. People got crazy in COVID times. They nuts.
As if that wasn't bad enough, after my complaints, they were like, oh, well, maybe we can like fix this situation by disinfecting it. So what they did is instead of just throwing plain water, they mixed bleach into it.
Oh my god.
So they were bleaching the poop and pee water. So now I have poop and pee smell and like very, very heavily concentrated bleach smell. Horrible. And you would imagine this would be happening like once a day or once every other day. I'm not kidding you. This was like 6 to 8 times or more per day.
What?
Per day.
No. I thought this was happening like once a week.
No, this was many times per day.
No.
Anyway, that was one of my experiences during early COVID.
No porch furniture for you.
So
yikes.
That
I hope no one can directly relate to that story from their COVID experiences.
I hope so too. I would not wish that on anyone.
Yeah. No.
Anyway. There is another story that was like sort of around COVID times. How are we?
You can tell it.
Okay. All right. So this one, we can go into it. I always try to say like, oh, I'll keep it brief, and then my story goes on for 15 minutes.
Yeah, you don't tell brief stories. It's okay. They're always entertaining.
Okay. Well, at least you get that. Okay. So again, I will try to make this one as short as I possibly can.
Okay.
All right. So I was living here in town and I was trying to get a roommate to help with rent. So
yes,
ended up finding a roommate. He seemed pretty normal. And fast forward, after we did like a trial thing where I was like, oh yeah, like you can come and stay here for a few days. It'll be kind of like an Airbnb situation. You can Venmo me for like a few days of staying here to see if it works. And then if we have, if we have good rapport, if it's working out, then you can move in and we'll add you to the lease.
Yeah.
By day 0.5, we were already running into problems. So let's see, which of the... Yeah, I'll tell the milk story. So
okay,
we're like sitting there. He's like already kind of weirdly sidling up next to me, trying to like cuddle. And I'm like, yeah, no, like you sit over there, I'll sit over here. We're watching like, I don't know, friggin' Wheel of Fortune or something. And he randomly goes, I want some chocolate milk. Okay. And I was like, all right. Like, hell yeah.
Congratulations.
Like, go get some, yeah, great. Like, go get some chocolate milk. Like, we don't have any, but like, if you want to go on a chocolate milk run, by all means, I will partake. He's like, all right. He's like, all right, I'll just go grab some from the fridge real quick. And I was like, wait, what do you mean from the fridge? I was like, we don't have chocolate milk. I was thinking this to myself. I was like, we don't have chocolate milk. I was like, he moved in a few hours ago. And like, he hasn't gone to the store. Like,
right.
I am certain that I don't buy chocolate milk. I know there is no chocolate milk. So like, why is this already happening?
Okay.
What is going on? So he goes over to the fridge. As he's walking to the fridge, I was like, wait. I was like, we don't have chocolate milk. He goes, yeah, we do. I was like, no, I am like 100% certain that we don't. And he's like, yeah, we do. And he goes over and like flings open the door to the refrigerator. And at this point, I'm just like, I want to see what's going to happen next. Like, I need to see when he realizes what the reactions are. He's standing there after opens the door all confidently and he just freezes. stares into the fridge. I'm not kidding you, for like 5 to 10 seconds. And I interrupt him and I'm like, I like speak up. I'm like, so, how you doing? Or like, what's going on? And he just silently turns back around to me and stares at me like very, very nervously, very like dead inside looking. And then instantaneously his mood changes again and he like starts laughing maniacally. He starts laughing and is like super silly. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. We don't have chocolate milk. I just wanted to get chocolate milk. I know we didn't have any. How silly of me. I just wanted chocolate milk, but we don't actually have any.
This man is talking like he needs serious medical attention.
I was concerned. I was like, is a stroke? That's not really what happens with a stroke, but I was like, are we on the edge of some kind of a mental break?
Right.
Like,
or is he high?
Or is he high or something?
Oh my God.
Plot twist, he was like a mega alcoholic, but we'll get to that later. Okay. So anyway, he's like, oh yeah, ha ha ha, we don't have chocolate milk. I just wanted chocolate milk. Or like, I wished we had chocolate milk. I was like, what? I don't understand. If you just wanted something, but you knew we didn't have it, why did you like skip merrily over to the fridge and confidently to get chocolate? Like, it makes no sense. And like, that was like 3 or 4 hours into him like living with me. So then anyway, the next day or something, we're at a club and he's a weirdo. Like, he's definitely giving off weirdo vibes. And we're at the club. All of my friends are kind of like staring at him and like giving him a weird look and looking at me, and they're like, do we know him? And I was like, yeah, like he's with me, like it's fine. And he's like kind of making a fool of himself. People are like kind of distancing themselves. And he has been complaining for like the last, however long, that he's tired and he wants to go home. I was like, oh, well, like we just got here like less than an hour ago and you've been saying you wanted to go home the whole time. Like, can you last a little bit longer? And the thing is, like, he couldn't go separately. We had one key and like I had the key. So whatever. Eventually, after enough complaining, I agree. I was like, okay, fine, we can go home. So we call an Uber. As the Uber is pulling up and we're opening the door to like step into the Uber, he says to me, man, I really wish we could have stayed at the club and like had fun with your friends for a lot longer. Like, the night was just getting started. Like, it's a shame that you got so tired.
What?
And I was like, what? I was like, no. Like, you're the one who was complaining the whole night. You're the one who was telling me that you were tired the whole night. I wanted to stay. Going home was your idea. He's like, no. He's like, you've been complaining. I could tell you wanted to go home. Like, he's like, I could keep going for hours. And this was actually, I'm leaving out like 4 different stories of weird things that he did. I was like, no, this is the last straw. This is not going to work out. Like, you are clearly detached from reality. Whatever. So we went home. The next day I ended up being like, yeah, sorry, it's not going to work out. You're going to have to find other arrangements. Like, see ya. He got his stuff. He left. As I was like cleaning up the apartment, like in his wake or whatever, I went into the room that he was staying in. And I opened up the cabinet, like dresser drawer cabinet thing. Literally 3 bottles of like 3 handles of empty alcohol bottles fell out of the cabinet doors and onto the ground.
Oh my gosh.
And instantly I was like, yep, that explains it.
I feel like not only was he an alcoholic, but also, I don't know, that's like some serious gaslighting kind of shit there. Maybe, I don't know if he was doing it on purpose or not, but like that literally sounds like the movie, what is it? The Gas Lamps, I think, or Gaslights, something. The whole movie where the term gaslighting comes from. Yeah, that's fucking creepy. It
was like potentially very gaslighty, but I think it was, and he might have been on whatever drugs, but I think it was also just like syndrome of an alcoholic who's currently suffering, who's not getting help, and probably some mental illness stuff playing into that.
God.
But
crazy.
Yeah, he was weird. Okay.
You you've had some crazy wackadoo people in your life, but you do a good job of making it entertaining.
Well, when life gives you lemons, I don't know. Throw the lemons at the weirdos.
Okay. Is it time for the surprise story that I don't know about yet?
Yeah, it's time for the surprise story.
Okay.
This one is kind of going, bringing us back to home. The title of the story is called Raccoon Catapult. And
what?
I haven't told them this story yet, so.
Okay, I'm really excited for this.
Okay,
Raccoon Catapult.
Raccoon Catapult. So, again, we're back home, back on the farm, and we have issues with like possums and raccoons and whatever that like get into the trash. They get in and kill the chickens. They like screw up the gardens or whatever. So, we used to have to set traps for them and then like either give them poison or like whatever. For some reason, in this case, I don't know how this poor raccoon was unfortunately dispatched, but we had a dead raccoon in our hands, and
Okay.
we needed to get rid of it. Keep in mind, this is the dead of summer, so we have a dead raccoon.
Oh, a hot, steamy raccoon carcass, huh?
Yes, but the thing is, we got the raccoon, we put it in a trash bag, and we put it in the trash. We like tied it off, put it in the trash can. We're like, all right, so there we go. The thing is, that was like still 4 or 5 days out from trash day.
Oh no.
So, and this is like mid-August.
Oh no.
So trash day comes around, and the trash collectors end up not picking up our trash because like they have the right to refuse to pick up your trash if it is particularly like offensive or like really, really like heinously smelling.
Wait, what? Really?
That's apparently like allowed. They reserve the right to like not pick up trash if it is potentially hazardous to the trash collectors, I guess.
I had no idea, but that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, good for them, bad for us. So we had this like, again, it had been like slow cooking in a trash can, in a trash bag in midsummer for like 4 or 5 days.
No.
It is like legit raccoon soup at this point.
Oh.
Like straight up soup. And we're like, oh shit, the trash, like they didn't come and take it. What, like, and it's only going to get worse from here. What are we going to do? And when like, has anybody ever smelled like you've opened up a trash can with like really rotten chicken, or like you've been, I don't know, you've like been around like dead things that are decaying, but like it's a particularly like it's the definition of repulsive. Like it evokes like
vomiting,
like an uncontrollable what's it called, like a reflex in humans, like retching, vomiting, like you cover your face and run away, like you can't bear it. So we like flip open the lid to the trash can and you cannot get near it. I'm not kidding you. You can't get within 20 feet of the trash can.
No.
You'll start retching. But we have to do something about it because clearly the trash people are not going to come and take it away. So my brother and I and my brother-in-law are tasked with disposing of the raccoon stew.
Oh my.
But what are we going to do? I just got a shiver. It's vile. So we ended up creating a tactic where, and it's in a trash can that's on wheels.
Okay.
But again, we live on like a hilly farm in the middle of nowhere. So we decide that we're going to take turns. We're going to go in shifts. We're going to take turns wheeling the trash can as far as we can while holding our breath. And then when we can't hold our breath any longer, the next person comes in, grabs the handle of the trash can, and continues to move us towards like the edge of the property, like down the hill.
Oh my.
So we are flying down the hill with this like race car raccoon juice. And again, it's to the point where by the end of your breath, you are like you are retching. It's like the burpy, retching, like vomit is coming. Like when you brush too far in the back of your mouth, and you're like, "Ugh," it's like that.
Oh no.
Okay, so we get down to the edge, and my brother flips the lid to the trash can, and then I come in and like samurai kick the like Mortal Kombat or whatever, Street Fighter, kick the trash can over, and the bag, which is like an oversized water, like when you fill a water balloon up too big and it's just like glug, glug, glug.
No.
It was that. So I kick the thing, and we like have to lift up the edge, and we like, pull the trash can away. So now we just have this white trash bag of raccoon liquid sitting there. But the thing is, it's like we thought it was going to roll farther down the hill, but it doesn't. It like gets caught in the spot that's still too close. Like we haven't gotten rid of it yet. And we like can't pull the bag because it's way too heavy, and it's like a cheap trash bag, and it's the contents are way too heavy. So you can't just like drag the bag, it'll tear, and that'll be a nightmare. So my brother-in-law goes and gets a snow shovel. And now you see maybe where the idea of the title of the story is coming in. So he gets the snow shovel, and he, like, holding his breath, he like scoops under the bag of raccoon, and unfortunately in the process is causing like micro tears in the bag, which is causing all of us to like lose. And you know how like when you've got like dog poop or like rotten food or whatever on the ground or something, and flies are coming towards it?
Yes.
But then you get near the flies and you shoo the flies away. This is to the point where somehow there are like clouds of flies that are like aware of what's going on and are collecting, and like the smell is so appealing to them that like shooing them away doesn't do anything. Like they fly away, but then they come right like,
oh my
it's
God.
the flies. It's like something from the biblical times. It's like a plague of flies in addition to this already horrible situation. So there are micro tears in the bag from trying to be scooped with a snow shovel. And my brother-in-law tries to like, once he scoops it up, I will never forget, there was like an air bubble in the bag. Whenever you like slosh a thing or whatever and you hear the like kind of sound, I heard it.
Oh my God.
And not only that, but the bones clanging together. The bones are clanging together. So he takes the snow shovel, lifts it up, and positions it across like his shoulder as if he's going to like, slingshot or catapult it over his shoulder and in front of him. But here's the issue. With such like a voluminous trash bag of liquid and how heavy it is, and like the fulcrum, whatever, of him trying to fling it with the speed and the force at which he tried to fling it forward.
Yeah.
He miscalculated, and it didn't go airborne. As the shovel became like in a vertical position and like what we thought was going to launch, it literally dropped vertically downward onto him, and like conformed like a freaking whatever it is, like an elastic conforming a front and back, like the strap of a backpack on his shoulder, and then like juiced and leaked and then plopped forward and like burst down in front of him. I saw the whole thing in slow motion. He starts to scream. My brother and I have no idea what to do. Like, we don't know how to help. We don't know what to do. He is screaming. He is running around the yard. He's pulling off articles of clothing. I've never seen this man in his underwear. Like, we're not like close like that. He's pulling off his clothes and screaming. And then eventually, whenever you're just in such a horrible situation, that screaming and running, that moment of like being impotent, like there's nothing you can do. You are powerless. Eventually, he accepted his fate. He accepted defeat. He was no longer screaming. He was no longer running. And he like just fell to the ground, curled in a ball, and was silent. And I've never seen a human being more like defeated and pathetic than in that moment. The good news is, in his, like, flopping it down, you know, it, like, sklooging or whatever down the side of his body, he did successfully get it down into a part of the yard that was, like, out of sight. The bag was broken. Now critters and bugs and whatever can get into the bag and begin the full decomposition process.
Right.
But that was one of the most disgusting events that I have participated in. The end. Raccoon catapult.
You caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting such a disgusting story, but it was very funny. And I'm just imagining your brother-in-law running around the yard stripping and then just, like, accepting defeat.
This is like a very calm, collected person.
Yeah, he's very chill.
Very, very mellow person. Never heard him raise his voice. Ever.
Except for when he was covered in unicorn. I'm so used to saying unicorn. Every animal's a unicorn.
When he's, like, literally covered in raccoon dip. Like, it's like, that was one of the most horrifying things, was it was the body of a previously living creature that is now liquid.
No.
It's like whenever you have a glass of ice water and you, like, hear the ice cubes clanging next to each other. That was, but with bones.
No.
And hot.
No.
And you can't breathe.
No.
Anyway. So I hope you all enjoyed my stories and have a little bit of better insight into some of the things that I've been through, some of the character shaping moments that I've had. And this is just the beginning. This is but barely a scratch on the surface.
Oh my god. Well, I don't really know how to wrap this up at this point. Thank you for being on the podcast today.
For brightening everyone's day, for enriching everyone's lives with these really, really motivational, uplifting stories.
Yes. Oh my god. Well, it really was a joy, and you gave me a lot of laughs. Even though I've heard all but the last story before, I laugh every time I hear these. These are fucking ridiculous. So thank you for sharing these stories with us. And you all, if you want to be able to ask him questions that we can answer in a future episode, because we're going to do another episode together for sure. And we want to answer your questions. So you know how to do that now. Join the Instagram channel. And I'll link that down in the show notes so you can ask your questions on there, whatever questions you want to ask my boyfriend for future episodes. And we'll answer some of those. It's going to be fun. All right, y'all.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. We're going to go eat dinner. Oh my God. Thank you again for being here. For real.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, y'all. I will see you on the next episode. Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend so they too can become more confident. You can also help more people find the show by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. And if you want to become a more confident queer with support from yours truly, head to CoachAlexRay.com or use the link down in the show notes. I'm looking forward to working with you.